Hello and welcome. I am the Imperishable, and on today's episode, we're going to have a look at all three of the different armies: Raw Host, Cult, and Grand Army. And have a look at their core, trying to get to a minimum 500 on 660 to see best ways to kind of fill them out and different ways we can do. Because obviously, core scoring now is really big. Getting those 30 points. Something that is also really big is kind of chaff clearing. So getting some like minuscule archers, so skeleton skirmishers, I think have gone way up. Skeleton horse archers have gone way up as well. So getting them into your armies, but then also getting the good stuff in as well. So let's dive straight in. I'll probably start with the cult because that's what I know best. Then look at Grand Army, and then look at some Royal Host ideas that I've kind of nicked from some top players. So let's have a look then. So as I said, we're going to have a look at all three of them. But as I said, I'm going to start with the Mortuary Cult because I think that's quite good. I'm going to look to try and get to 660 as the maximum, and we'll just see that. Obviously, the core is really good for all types of Tomb Kings, okay? Everything here has a purpose, probably, except the Horsemen, and unfortunately now the Swarms, personally. So I think where you need to start off is your Shabdi. You're going to get, and I want to say probably a minimum of like a 7-man. It's 21 unit strength for core scoring. It's massive. It's lots of attacks, and you're going to run them with great bows. I think they are still better than Ritual Blades. I've tried once or twice with kind of combat Ushabti and trying to get them in, but it's just you just don't get them in, unfortunately, as easy. And the big combat threats are usually dragons. You just fly away from them. Unfortunately, I'm looking at teams. I want to try and deal with the big stuff, so that's what I'm there for. I think this is a really cool, good start. It's a nice 350, and now we just fill it up with kind of the rest of the core scoring. You could obviously change this. You can go for a big 8, a bigger 9, or I've even seen 10s, but I feel like the use of actually getting some other core scoring in there is big. You want at least probably 1 unit of skeleton horse archers, and I'm a big fan of the 7. 77 points. It just means that if one lone shot kills one off, it doesn't. You can still score with them. And basically how I look to fill in the rest of them is using skeleton skirmishers. I like a nice unit of roughly 13 with war bows. Clearing off your opponent's screen is really key, and clearing off your opponent's scoring is massive. Unless you are also playing in a kind of an undead off. They can't raise theirs back, you can't ring them, so they need to go for at least 14, 15, but if they don't, so chaos is a big thing, where skeleton skirmishers reign supreme, because they bring Marauder Horsemen, they bring Chaos Knights, who get like 5s and 6s, I've just got to do 1 wound and you're not scoring, whereas my core scoring is a unit of Ushabti and these guys. So usually I go for probably, I would say about 2 of these, and I actually go for a 3rd in ambush. So this gives you your threat range of getting in behind and trying dealing with stuff. We still have 25 points left. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can just grab as a separate kind of unit. You could just go for a unit of 5 skeleton skirmishers with a bit more shooting. I like to just kind of dabble in, up these to like maybe 15s as such, and then maybe getting another thing. So this takes us to 661, which is pretty good. So this gives you a nice overall. So you have 1 in ambush, you've got a single skeleton horse archer to kind of dart about, and then you've got 2 15s that can really put out a lot of output. Obviously, however, if you think you want to go more, you can go up to a nice even 10. I've seen this, I think, where you drop both of these. Oh, not delete the thing. You drop both of these. Because, like, to be honest, you could just run this, basically. There you go, that's 2 points. But I think what is quite good is getting... Probably you do something like this as well. You go up to, like, a 13 with warbows and ambush. And maybe drop one of them. Does that work? Boom! You're at 680, okay? You've got 9 bow Ushabti, you've got 2 fast scoring core scorers. They're there to get your strategic locations on 4, or, you know, run up or hold your backfield, and they can screen, they can clear off Ushabti things that you can't do, and then you still have the skeleton skirmisher coming in. So those are 2 ways I would look to potentially fill out your core. Unfortunately, I think that's the way to go. But something completely different, and I'm still pondering solely because of the use of bricks. No, I don't want to delete that. Sorry, deleting stuff on this is a lot harder. I would probably look to drop this down to a 7. Still on my Skeletons and Skirmishers, but bringing a 4-man of this with Terrors Below, it's a lot of points. It's 160. You fill out the rest with another unit of Skeleton Skirmishers, or you go out with all those. Do 2 more, something like that. Something like that. That's 663. Obviously, you can add more to core, and it's not a bad thing for Tomb King. Scar Core is quite good. The reason why I like this is it's a 12 unit strength. It's really tough. It's really good. They are T4 with 3 wounds, so they basically use Shabby. They've got 3 attacks. They're strength 5, which is quite nice. They come with the Terrors Below. They only have a 6-up, 6-up, so they're very weak in getting like shot off. But you can ambush them in. You can put them into a position where they could block off a thing. They're 12 wounds to get through. They have move through cover. They have poison attacks with all their 3. They've got art. They've got impact hits as well. And the Beneath the Sand is there. If you want something to help deal with bricks, if that's what you're going to be up against, I think Necrosemps are probably worth it in your meta. I still like the use of Skeleton Skirmishers. I think they're better overall than Skeleton Horse Archers because you get twice the amount of shots for the same price. But obviously the movability. But as I say, these are just some stepping stones on how to look at it. So that's your Mortuary Cult. Kind of 3 ways to go into that. Your base is going to be built around your Shabdi and then a lot of skirmishing core. Because I think that's the aim of the game this edition. You want to be able to take off your opponent's core and dealing with them, stuff like that. So, jumping into Grand Army, okay, you only need 500s. Unfortunately, a lot of the same stuff is going to apply. Depending on what you're playing, if you're playing Double Dragon with Illusion, I think getting a brick of Skeleton Warriors could be quite nice. It gets off your core. I personally would go something maybe like 35, so you can go 6 wide, 6 deep, or you can go like this kind of thing. You do a Master Armor, you do a Stand Bearer, you do a Musician. You give them light armor, I would. So for 190, you're getting 35 bodies. Or a 200 point unit, you're getting 35 bodies that don't give ground with a 4-up for 6-up, and if you put in the Illusion Priest, it's quite a nice brick to hold. Then you go, once again, you go Skeleton Horse Archers, probably 2 of these in this detachment, in this thing. Then you just fill out with a load of Skeleton Skirmishers. So I'd say a 14-man, probably 2 of those. Still got 6 more points. Grab just, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's only going to be 5 points more, isn't it? Damn it. Or you drop 2 warriors and you make one of these an 8-man. So you've got a big brick to hold somewhere, sit somewhere. You've got 2 skirmishing bodies to shoot off. And you've got Skeleton Horse Archers to press and be annoying and get into positions. I think this is quite a nice. This is my base. Everything else is going to kill you. This is there to just deal with it. So now you can go the double Necrosphinx and 1,000 points in characters. Or you can start going into Tomb Scorpions, get 3 of them and a Necrosphinx and then 1,000 points. And you can go that way route potentially and stuff like that. So this is kind of a core brick. The next way, I'm wondering if there's a way I can do this quickly, is going kind of potentially a Tomb Guard route, which I quite like the look of, because I think they're great. They're worse Tomb Grave Guard, unfortunately, because you can't give them a 5-up ward. They don't have heavy armor and a great weapon, but they are quite good. Obviously, we can res them up, we can give them a lot of support, but I think a nice biggish brick of probably like 23. So you can go 8 wide, 3 deep with a character in there, like once again an Illusion. You go for all the things. I would pay for Necroarant Phalanx. It just means they don't just give ground. And I think I would give Halberd, because depending on what charges you, you either have a 4-up with your hand weapon, or if you're charging, you go for the fortunately 6-up, so you do lose your shield and you leave that. It's a lot to give up, and maybe you do drop this. But they've got magic standards, and potentially you look to put in, because this is becoming a fighty brick rather than I'm just going to sit here and do it. This is I'm going to press forward. So something like the icon of the Sacred Eye, or the Royal, or the Banner of the Desert Wind, to be able to make yourself move is really good. Something that you could look at is the Mirage Banner, because there's a lot of shooting kind of thing. So your choice of kind of special thing there, potentially Talisman, Obsidian Lodestone, -1 is really good, things like that. And then because you've got to take a thing. I would take a unit of Scarce and Archers, take a 12-man, so it's scoring, it's 60 points. You can do it as a detachment, so it's 1 drop if you want to do it like that. And they don't actually have to see like next to each other or wholly within there, and have to be within 3, so you can deploy it directly behind the Tomb Guard. And then once again, we're back to our same thing of probably 2 units of Scarce and Horse Archers like this. And then we are. But if you're going down the Tomb Guard route, the Tomb Guard brick, I think you put more points into your core than 500. This is where you start going. You take a Prince to give you some ways to boost it up. You put in a Herald in here for your BSB to give them the other banner that you want, and then you get an Illusion Priest level 1 to give yourself -1. You stack those up with some nice unit buffs to the thing. You can make that. You could potentially make this a Death Star of 1,500 points of all your characters, because your Tomb Guard are very good. They're very strong. They can last. They're T4 base. You can put them buffs galore. You can have what I've seen someone do is actually take a level 3 or a level 4. So you take a High Priest, level 4 Illusion. You give them good weapons and armor. Put them in there. You can put your Tomb Kings in. It's just starting there. If you're going down the Tomb Guard brick, unless you want to put loads of characters in, you can do that, or you just put in the just a level 1 Illusion. I think that's a nice route there. Obviously, another way you can do it is just get rid of your bricks. And I've seen, what's his face, Scott Reed do it, where he played with Double Dragon. I think he had 3 units of Scarce and Horse Archers. He had a unit of Scarce and Skirmishers. But again, I like a 13, 14 big. 84 points. He's got his 12 Scarce thing. He might have even taken more Scarce and Archers, but you're going the full, I'm here just to shoot off your core scoring. You can go, there we go, 515. You drop 1, 2, you drop another one here, and all you've got is a full core of minuscule shooting. Oh no, why can't I? Sorry, I haven't taken it off. This one. So for 500 points, you get 25, 39, plus 21, 60, plus probably just the front rank. You just do 10 wide, or 8 wide probably. Probably like 68, 70 shots a turn of hitting on 5s, wounding on 4s and 5s, and just praying. You're going to kill a lot of like Marauders. You're going to kill off like even like Forsaken, the number of shots there. Chaos Knights, you're going to pop off some wounds and save yourself points. And they're just so annoying to deal with. 3 units of Scarce and Horse Archers running about is so hard to just catch and bring them down, stop them. You can definitely go this route. And I like the idea of just skirmishing Scarce and Horse Archers, especially as I'm looking at WTC. You take 4 units of Scarce and Horse Archers because you're allowed to, and you can go more on this core, and you can just be there to clear off stuff. And then you fight with 2 double dragons and a double necrosinks again. So you're pressuring with that, and you are just taking out anything else that your dragons can't deal with. So big bricks, so stuff like night goblins and whatnot, 60, 70 shots a turn is going to deal with them, and it's quite nice. But this is going a full skirmish route. I'm a big fan. If you're going Grand Army, just take the Tomb Guard. Go down that kind of route, take a big brick, go even like 400 points in the brick, tuck in a couple characters, take 1 Tomb King on a dragon, support it with your Necrosinxes, or maybe 1 Necrosinx and a triple Tomb Scorpion kind of thing. Because I think triple Tomb Scorpion could be quite good. They're nice little packages. They can put out so much combat weight, and everyone's scared of them for their little points, and they're so very good unit blockers. So there's a couple ways in the Grand Army. And now into the Royal Host. So the thing what's great about Royal Host is they've got the infantry cohorts. So you have to take a chariot for 41 points as your base point. Obviously we're playing at the idea of you can't take more than 500 points in a unit, but I think you can go stupid. As you see, I'm going to keep clicking for a very long time. Let me show you how many points I'm at the moment. 250. You can go like 300 points. You got 60 guys. You give them Standard Bearer, Musician. You just take 2 of those. You got 2 fat bricks that are just going to sit everywhere and just shoot. You'll get 25 shots a turn into what you want. Or you go more into it. So you go into the 1 big unit. You get to the maximum that you can do. Is it about 70 is a good amount? And you go the Banner of the Desert Winds, so you're not moving. And because you get 30-point magic item, oh look, the Amulet of the Serpent. Even though poison is not the best, it can still do well in this unit. It's just crazy. It's amazing. It's really good to see. Obviously, your arm save's not great and whatnot, but then this is the whole point of you take a level 1 illusion again, and then they've got that many saves. Their -1 to hit is what you're going for. They can reserve move, they spin them out, shoot what they want. Still got 130 more points. You can go more chariots. You can probably go some archers, and you go like detachments, and you duplicate them 6 points over. So this is 1 drop. It takes up a lot, and those skeleton archers are scoring as well. So I've got 3 scorers, kind of thing. Because the only issue with Royal Host is you can't take your horse archers or skirmishers in your core. It's the annoying thing. So you can go really big bricks. There are ways you can make this brick basically nigh unkillable. You put those characters in. If you really want to go down the meme route, really go down the meme route, you just take 2 bricks. With 8 UI each, you obviously have to drop the banners, but you make 1 take the Mirage banner. So they're -1 to hit. And instead of the Amulet of Serpent, is there anything useful to give them? No, it's the Orb of Betrayal is what you want in the other unit probably. Just give them a Lodestone. -1 magic res is really good. Unfortunately, you can't give Spell Eater Axe, that'd be really good. But it's things like that. There are ways you can really buff up these units and make them the best you can, and like it's ridiculous. And you take 2 of these and you put on some special characters. You can make 2 fat bricks and just push forward. As I said, if you want to just go like 60s and just get your core, I think that's a way of doing it. You go down the meme, you go fully into it. I do think I'm even going to take out, I can't take out Royal Host Warrior, I'm going to take out 1 of them just because I like myself to be a nice 80. You do that, and then you go into the Skeleton Chariots and you start kind of trying to charge into things and deal with things. That's the route. But like this unit alone is ridiculous. Or you drop down to something that is still ridiculous, but you drop down to like 49 archers, and now you've got 239 to play with to get a load of chariots. You get some Tomb Guard chariots in with a Captain Standard Bearer. Probably want to do a Musician on them. You make these chariots champions, and you make some duplicates of them, and then you bump this up a little bit. The idea is you can play with things to hit, but obviously you need core scoring. This doesn't do it. You only get the 1, so maybe you drop those and you get some Skeleton Archers. You take it very cheaply, because even though a thing on its own, just like this, which is 10 of each, 120 for 20 models, that doesn't give ground. You go 4x5 or 5x4, so you get 2 ranks of spears, and then you get 2 shooting ranks, etc. It's not a bad like layout for 120 points, and you just dot those about. You have loads of smaller ones, and then you press with everything out. But I think if you're going Royal Host, you're going big bricks, double dragon, some mortuary priests in there to buff up your skeleton infantry cohort. I think that's a really cool route. So there we go. I've got over kind of some core ideas to do for Tomb Kings. It is really big now. It makes it different that you have to fill out correctly, or you actually oversubscribe into it. So as you said, for like the cult, I think on one of my lists I'm at like 720 because I've upped my Ushabti, my big core one, to be like 8 or 9 rather than the 7, and still have all the screens, etc. Because I quite like that. I think I'm playing with an 8 and a 6 at the moment because I'm trying out trying to get caskets in and see how they do. But I think core is really important. Tomb King's core is great. I think going Grand Army or Cult, you're going to see Skeletons, Skirmishers, Skeleton Horse Archers, and then the rest filled out either with a brick or you move them of a Shabdi or a brick of infantry. I think that's really the key thing there is you can fit it how you want because Tomb King scoring is phenomenal. If you go Royal Host, you can go full meme, 2 big bricks or a brick and some Skeleton Archers. I think that's the best way of doing it, and you use those Skeleton Chariots with champions just to go with your Tomb King and challenge out for them. That's a good way of playing them. I think that's a nice idea of them. You keep them close. They both have Swiss Stride. You're going in, you're hitting hard and fast. But yeah, I think those are some ideas. Obviously, if you've got any other ideas or any other core that you're running, especially Grand Army, I want to make a Tomb Guard army. So if you've got anything like that, please let me know. I'm hoping for in the new book that there is a Tomb Guard detachment, like Army of Infamy, that is Tomb Guard infantry focused. But they talk about characters and cav. Hopefully, you obviously the Necropolis Knights. So we'll see. But no. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and let me know how it goes. And if you've got any other tips or tricks, please put them in the comment. Ta-ra!